G'day guys, it's John with OGS, back with another episode. Last week we did the Halloween special, which was a lot of fun, you know, some Oscar-worthy performances in terms of acting. And I got around to fabricating some teeth, which I thought maybe I'd show you. I've taken them off the XD now, but let's have a bit of a look at some of the fab work, eh? It's a lovely day outside. Of course, we've got the XD with the sleek lines. I'm enjoying the front runners at the front of the car, sort of thing. Got a slight issue with the car. I was driving it earlier this morning and filled up with 91 petrol. I've never had that issue, sort of thing, where I've got a bad batch of fuel. But yeah, I don't know. I was sort of hesitating as I was accelerating, so I think it's due for a bit of a service. So what I might do this weekend is change the fuel filter, dump the oil, you know, fill up the radiator with some more coolant, that sort of fun stuff. All right, got my teeth. From a glance, you know, you might have thought it was a bit of cardboard, but what I did was actually made it out of, I'm pretty sure that's 1.2 mil thick steel. So what I did was I just cut the teeth and I made it so that it actually sort of sits in together. So if you actually go like that, it's the same piece, but I had got my angle grinder and cut the pieces like you see there. So this is a top piece here, and that fits into the original bolt holes that hold the grille. I got it pretty good, except that one there, it didn't quite line up, so I actually had to elongate the hole. But you know, it is what it is. I painted it with the Spray Booth 2-pack. I just had a little bit left over, so that's why it's white like that. And I literally just did it before I went home. I didn't use any primer or anything like that. You can see there's a bunch of runs there, but that doesn't really matter. And then in the morning, I just got some engine enamel and I just sprayed it. It didn't come up very good, but you know, for effects, it worked out very, very well. And the bottom here, this also bolts into the original holes of the grille. There's one here and one there. And what I did was I just created a strap that would be about 2 or 3 mil thick steel, just for a little bit of strength. And then what I did was then welded this piece on slightly below in the middle there, just to provide a bit of rigidity. And I only really just like tacked it on, so I mean, it's not really a big deal. And if you have a look over here, that's not even painted, and that's just raw. And then you can see down below here, they're just all tacks really. So I drove the car home for Halloween. I didn't get pulled over, which was great, but people certainly got a kick out of it. A lot of kids came up to where I live and they saw the car and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, they got really, really scared of the XD. Got something else for you guys. Could be another XD. I swear it's not mine. They just seem to multiply, bloody come out of nowhere. So back when I first got my XD, my buddy Pete also had an XD, and we were sort of planning on sort of finishing them at the same time. But of course, he started his own business and he's recently moved to a larger factory, which means his XD is now over here. So let's have a bit of a look. Wow, here it is. I mean, this is what it looks like when you don't finish projects, and I know that all too well. I can see that he's given it a whizzy. I mean, like, this is all dull paint. That's a little bit shinier. Let's look at it together in terms of rust and dints and what kind of work he's actually got and whether he's ever going to finish his project. But he's got a few dints facing this way on his bonnet. You can see he circles things just like I do. Got a bit of bare metal over here. Why don't we have a look inside? Oh, that bonnet strut definitely is going to fail. That would fall on my head. This is a pretty nice bonnet. There's no real rust in the inside over here. Wow, I'm pretty impressed actually. Of course, he's got this in primer, so that's probably the extensive work that he's actually done to the car. But I mean, that's quite nice, bit of overspray, but that doesn't matter. I reckon a nice 351 Clevo would be right at home here. There's a bit of surface rust here, but nothing to write home about. Guard's in pretty good nick. Not bad, bit of skim and bog, that's all right. There's no rust down the bottom, which is good. Aha, here are his circles. So a few dints, I mean, you can hit that out or just skim some filler over it. I mean, this is a really, really clean car from what I can see. This is a new door, probably from Emilio or one of the other guys. Let's have a look at the roof. And that's basically half in bare metal. So you can see the intention. I mean, he was getting going, but like, then he got busy with something else, as it happens. You can see that the rear quarter panels, I mean, they're usually the worst affected areas. So you can see down here, the rear quarter, like there's bog in here, and that whole piece basically needs to be replaced, and there's a big gaping hole here. Ah, my fingers. But the more you have a look, you can see all the arrows, you can see all the circles, so he's like, oh yeah, no, I gotta fix all that sort of stuff, and you know, it is what it is. That's a nice panel, I love it. I don't know what happens with these boot lids, but mine's the same. Like, it keeps getting dents bit from the inside. Maybe they've overloaded stuff in the inside and then slammed the boot lid, and that's why it's created all these dents, but mine's like that too, so it's a bit strange. Let's have a bit of a look. There's a bit of rust here, but that's nothing that crazy really. A bit more bare metal here. I'm not making it any better by touching it sort of thing. But really, Pete and I are maybe the same person with the way that we think, or maybe I'm the same as you guys with my projects, you know. But if you're working on other people's projects, or your business is panel beating or whatever, you'll often find times that you don't really have any time or the drive to work on your own stuff. Hence why I don't do anybody else's stuff. Found the keys. Let's have a look at the boot. Oh, mate, typical. Okay, well, it's good that he's bagged and tagged everything. I don't know whether any of these parts have been worked on. I mean, there's probably a couple cars worth of stuff in here. I'm not gonna muck around with it. I wasn't expecting to see all this shit in here though. Wait till we see what's inside the actual car. Oh, I don't want to slam anything. Probably just broke all your parts. Sorry, mate. Okay, let's have a squizzy. Fuck yeah, now, mate. All right, door trims, windows. What else have you got here? Rubbers. Oh, that looks pretty good. I could actually use that for my car. Thanks, mate. I'm gonna grab that for myself. Okay, so it's not a Povo pack because it's actually got, you know, 2 seats instead of the bench seat, and it's got a center console. It probably came out with 2 side mirrors, whereas mine's only got 1 over here. But overall, this is quite a nice car. Ooh, careful, it'll really hit you. Yeah, sign of the times, eh? Got yourself a little Dorito. Was his plan to turn it into a rotary? Maybe. I can see a manifold there for a Clevo, so his head's in the right place. But tell you what, mate, you know, I'm not charging you any storage rent, but the longer you leave it here, the more that your parts are probably going to go missing and be put onto my car. So you probably need to get something done there. But as always, I love bagging out my own cars, and I love bagging out other people's cars. So if you've got any ideas for videos, certainly let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.